Hi there, I'm the Reverend Danny Crosby, a Unitarian minister serving congregations in Altrincham and in Urmston in the northwest of England. And I'm offering this devotion as a balm for the heart, for the mind, for the spirit, and for the soul. And it's titled, Welcome to the House of Belonging. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Words from the wonderful hymn Spirit of Life by Caroline McDade, much loved, certainly loved by me. I love it dearly. And I wonder how many times I have sung it out and loud and proud in my life. I love that we sing of roots holding us close before we sing of wings setting us free. Makes sense to me because before you can fly free, express your full humanity, you must first feel that you belong. You need strong roots before you can be set free. This brings to my heart my own understanding of the flaming chalice symbol, a symbol of my free religious faith, my chosen faith, my Unitarian faith, which is rooted in belonging, in history, in tradition, but not held back by any of this. It's opened up to new possibilities, new truth, new life. But it's this sense of belonging really that enables you to be set free, to express your soul, to know to who knows where, really. Before anyone can know freedom, we must first feel secure where we are. We must first feel a sense of belonging. And we can then begin to express who we truly are without fear of rejection. Belonging comes before freedom. We need roots that will hold us close, that will love us unconditionally, before we can even attempt to fly free. Excuse me. I remember when I was a young man, I thought that freedom and the attainment of freedom were the things of highest value in life, that liberation meant escaping the shackles that hold us back and stop us being all that we're meant to be. I needed to escape where I had come from the drudgery of my life. I sang songs about freedom as I left behind all that I saw as unimportant in life, insignificant. When I look back now at the man I was, I see a man who was a slave to freedom. Over the years, I've learned something about belonging. I have learned that belonging is really about love. I have learned something about what love is actually about. I'm not talking about romance here. I'm talking about that unseen force that connects all life, that enables us to form deep and meaningful relationships with ourselves, with each other, and with all of life. I name this God. You may call it something other. To me, this is the essence of belonging, actually, to live in and through love, to love who we are, the life that we have, and the task that this life asks us to fulfill, not just for ourselves, but for all. And it's this love that allows me to belong, that enables me to connect with all that exists now, all that has been in the time before now, and all that will be in the future. It is the love that has become the roots that hold me close so that I can stretch out the wings that will set me free and allow me to glide in the wind, to set me free, to truly be all that I was born to be, to belong, to know ultimate freedom. But before you can be free, you need to belong. It is the roots of belonging that give us the freedom to stretch out our wings, to fly in the wind free. Belonging is the highest form of love. A sense of belonging is a deeply precious thing. It is belonging that helps us become who we are meant to be. A sense of being rooted and being held and being loved by these roots that allow us to spread our wings and to fly free. To not fear the wind, to embrace it, to let ourselves go absolutely. When you feel that you do not belong, you cannot thrive in life. You shrivel up and perhaps you die. Now, of course, we don't need to belong in exactly the same way. Our roots need not, in fact, should not be identical in order for us to belong. To truly belong is to be welcomed as you are, exactly as you are, warts and all, and the beauty spots too. Not every tree in the forest is rooted in an identical way. And it's the same with folk in community. We do not have to try to be like those that we're surrounded by. In the communities I serve, we're not all the same. In order to truly belong, you don't need to comply. In fact, that's not belonging at all. I'm going to share with you a favourite poem from a favourite poet, David White. This is The House of Belonging. I awoke this morning in the gold light, turning this way and that, thinking for a moment that it was one day like any other. But the veil had gone from my darkened heart, and I thought I must have been the quiet candlelight that filled my room. It must have been the first easy rhythm with which I breathed myself to sleep. It must have been the prayer I said, speaking to the otherness of the night. And I thought, this is the good day you could meet your love. This is the black day someone close to you could die. This is the day you realize how easily the thread is broken between this world and the next. And I found myself sitting up in the quiet pathway of light. The tawny, close-grained cedar burning round me like fire, and all the angels of this housely heaven ascending through the first roof of light the sun has made. This is the bright home in which I live. This is where I ask my friends to come. This is where I want to love all the things it has taken me so long to learn to love. This is the temple of my adult aloneness, and I belong to that aloneness as I belong to my life. There is no house like the house of belonging. And a new life has recently come into the house of belonging, my house of belonging. Molly, you may have heard making quite a racket at the beginning of this devotion. Molly, the beautiful Havanese puppy, she just run off with something just now. She's had no trouble finding a sense of belonging here. She has settled in easily. Everyone who meets her says how at ease she is with strangers, both human and dog strangers. She has a comfortable sense of herself. She feels a part of the community here around where I live, around the chapel grounds, and in this town too. Unfortunately, she's had no bad experiences as of yet, thank God. She has never been hurt or rejected, and I suspect that this is not the case actually with anyone else within the chapel community or even the wider community. So she's never been made to feel like she doesn't belong. I suspect she thinks that all the buildings here and the gardens are all part of her own house of belonging, and all the people are part of her family. Whenever we leave my house, she goes looking for her family. She's so excited about who she will meet, particularly familiar people. She gets so excited. She knows that she belongs here and thus feels free to express herself. If only it was so easy for all of us. It's not so easy for we to be ourselves, unlike Molly, who is totally at ease with herself. I've never known a dog so in love with her own reflection, actually. She's quite vain. She stops at shop windows to admire herself, and when she approaches my bedroom mirror, she just happily touches her little nose right against her own reflection. It's rather beautiful to see. Just in the same way she does when she meets other dogs in the street. Molly is at ease, is happy in herself. She knows she belongs here. And to belong, you need to be yourself, while paradoxically, in order to be yourself, you must first of all feel that you belong. When you feel that you belong, you will no longer feel the need to try and fit in with others, because you will be at ease with yourself. Molly belongs here. Brené Brown has said, because true belonging only happens when we present our authentic, imperfect selves to the world, our sense of belonging can never be greater than our level of self-acceptance. I like what she says here, particularly that she has to say about the difference between belonging and fitting in, that they are not the same, although they often are mistaken for one another. She explains that fitting in is really about assessing situations and becoming the person that you believe you need to be in order to be accepted and acceptable, whereas belonging does not require us to change who we are, but to be who we really are. Belonging is an innate desire to be part of something larger than ourselves. It's a primal yearning deep within the soul of us, and thus we often try to acquire it by fitting in and seeking the approval of others. Now, not only does this not satisfy this yearning, it actually becomes a barrier to it. In so doing, we lose our identity and feel ever more lost and lonely. True belonging, you see, only happens when we present our true, authentic, and perfect selves to the world, warts and all, and beauty spots too. Unless we are at home within ourselves, we will never feel that we belong anywhere. And this is why Molly is such a good teacher to me. She feels that she belongs as she is, exactly as she is. She does not need to try to fit in. John O'Donoghue, in his wonderful book Anamkara, relates belonging to longing and yearning. He suggests that we need to find a balance in belonging, and that often our problems stem from not being truly at home within ourselves or with ourselves, that we should be our own longing, that the key is to belong within ourselves. If we belong within ourselves, then we will feel at ease and belong wherever we are. Therefore, the sense of who we are, our identity, will not be ruled by the need to fit in, to belong externally. Again, Molly belongs internally. The problem of trying to fit in and not belonging stems from a sense of feeling different, something I know I've experienced in my life. It can be a real barrier. Now, of course, sometimes these barriers are put up by those who would exclude certain types of people for what they perceive to be different. And we've seen horrific examples of this throughout human history. People excluded for racial, political, religious, gender, sexual identity reasons. And these barriers still exist. Some might say that they're being put up even more again. Thankfully, many over the years have come down, but there's been a reaction against them in recent years, and that bothers me. Separating people into different groups, it is never good. But it can be difficult to join a group where you feel that you are different from others. Most people find it difficult to join something, to belong to something, when they feel different to those already present in the community. It's the same with any group or community, actually, including church and chapel communities. It is hard to walk into anything you've never been to before. I know it took me some time to pluck up the courage to explore religious community all those years ago, nearly 20 years ago now. But I did. But it took some time. I took some time before I walked through a door, I'll tell you. In our communities, we say that all are welcome. We say, come as you are, exactly as you are, but do not expect to leave in exactly the same condition. But come as you are, exactly as you are, wherever you are on your journey, wherever you might be going later. Come as you are. You are welcome as you are, exactly as you are this moment. And yet, people still feel reluctant to walk through the door. And people still find it hard to belong, even amongst open and free religious communities like the ones I serve. And the reasons for this are many and varied, and how we resolve those problems, there's no easy answer. The key is to be as open and welcome as we can be. The key is to cultivate a sense of true belonging, which means we need to belong ourselves and not just try to fit in. For if we belong, we will not need to try to fit in, and we will then be able to welcome the stranger as they are, and hopefully they will feel that they can belong here too. Philip J. Bermone wrote in The Journey Home, truly spiritual people are in the habit of cultivating the nearly forgotten art of basic hospitality, perhaps because they realize that when we are able to make others feel comfortable, the pleasures of belonging are close at hand. And that's the key, to cultivate the pleasure of belonging. The key is to bless one another with our presence, and they will feel that they belong amongst we people who belong in the communities I serve. And they will feel that they can belong exactly as they are in the moment that they find themselves in that exact experience. Rachel Naomi Raymond wrote in My Grandfather's Blessing, "A blessing is not something that one person gives another. A blessing is a moment of meeting, a certain kind of relationship in which both people involved remember and acknowledge their true nature and worth, and strengthen what is whole in one another. By making a place for wholeness within our relationships, we offer others the opportunity to be whole without shame and become a place of refuge from everything in them that are not genuine. We enable people to remember who they are." That's belonging. That's true welcome. That's blessing. Blessing with our presence. A sense of belonging is a deeply precious thing. It is belonging that helps us become who we are meant to be. It is a sense of belonging that gives us deep roots that will enable us to fly free. It is a sense of belonging that enables us to be ourselves in whatever company we find ourselves without feeling the need to fit in. It is a sense of belonging that allows us to become good neighbours and to bless the whole world with our welcome. I hope you can find a sense of belonging. I hope you find it in this video. I hope you find your house of belonging. Come sing a song with me. Come join with me. Come as you are, exactly as you are in this moment, but do not expect to leave in exactly the same condition, but come as you are. I'm going to end with a blessing by John O'Donoghue for belonging. You know, we can all bless. We need to bless more, and we bless by giving our whole selves to life. So here's For Belonging by John O'Donoghue. May you listen to your longing to be free. May the frames of your belonging be generous enough for your dreams. May you arise each day with a voice of blessing whispering in your heart. May you find a harmony between your soul and your life. May the sanctuary of your soul never become haunted. May you know the eternal longing that lives at the heart of time. May there be kindness in your gaze when you look within. May you never place walls between the light and yourself. May you allow the wild beauty of the invisible world to gather you, mind you, and embrace you in belonging. Amen. And may we carry the vision of love. May we become welcoming to all. May we offer a sense of belonging to all. And may we do so in all that we feel, in all that we think, in all that we say, and in all that we do. Go in love.